In this episode, we're going to talk about the elected terms of service in the United States government. So first, we're going to go right to the Constitution. Taking a look at the Constitution, it says right in Article 1, Section 1, all legislative powers granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and the House of Representatives. So let's take a look at the House of Representatives first. That is in Article 1, Section 2. It says the House of Representatives shall be composed of members chosen every second year by the people of the several states. So every 2 years, representatives are elected directly by the people. And I'm going to show you a graph at the end and show you how you can download it so you can share with your classroom. Next, let's take a look at the Senate. That's going to be in Article 1, Section 3. It says the Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state, chosen by the legislature thereof for 6 years, and each senator will have 1 vote. Now, when the Constitution was first written, it was actually the state governments that chose the senators, and the whole idea was the representatives in the House of Representatives were there to represent the people, and the Senate was there to represent the states, and that was all part of something called the Great Compromise. And that was changed by the 17th Amendment. And let's take a quick look at the 17th Amendment, and it changed that part to the Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state elected by the people. So now both the House of Representatives and senators are both chosen by direct vote from the people. Let's go back to the Constitution. The second part of Section 3 sets it up so that not all of the senators can be replaced at the same time. The Founding Fathers really wanted the Senate to be a consistent body that didn't have a lot of changes. So in Section 3, the second paragraph, it works that out. It says, immediately after they shall be assembled in consequence of their first election, they shall be divided as equally as may be into 3 classes. The seats of the senator from the first class shall be vacated at the expiration of the second year of the second class and the expiration of the 4th year, and of the 3rd class on the expiration of the 6th year, so that 1/3 may be chosen every second. So that means every 2 years, only 1/3 of the Senate is ever up for re-election, where in the House of Representatives, every representative is up for re-election every 2 years. Now let's take a quick look at the presidency. So to see how we elect a president, we have to go to Article 2 of the Constitution, Section 1. It says, the executive power shall be vested in a president of the United States of America. He shall hold this office during the term of 4 years, and together with the vice president chosen for the same term, be elected as follows. Each state shall appoint in a manner as the legislature thereof may direct a number of electors equal to the whole number of senators and representatives to which the states may be entitled in the Congress. And that's where we get the Electoral College. Now, there's another part of the Constitution that says a census will occur every 10 years so that they can properly distribute the amount of representatives, which directly correlates to the number of electors for each state. And how we elect the president has also changed over the years. During the election of 1800, there was a tie between Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr. Just the way elections happened back then, whoever got the most votes would be the president, whoever got the second most votes would be the vice president. And it says in the Constitution, if there is a tie, the House of Representatives breaks it. However, each state delegation gets 1 vote. So guess what happened in 1800? It was a tie again. And it tied over 30 times before Alexander Hamilton decided to side with his rival Thomas Jefferson against Aaron Burr and put Thomas Jefferson in the presidency. So it's common knowledge now that presidents are only allowed to serve 2 terms. If we look at this list of presidents, we'll see that Franklin Delano Roosevelt was president from 1933 until 1945, because in the Constitution, it doesn't say anything about 2 terms. However, George Washington set the precedent by stepping down after his second term, and every president since George Washington up until Franklin Delano Roosevelt followed that exact same format where they served for 2 terms and then left on their own accord. Now, after the presidency of FDR, Congress went in and created a constitutional amendment. The 22nd Amendment says that presidents are only allowed to serve 2 terms, and that's how we know it today. And I believe that was passed in 1952. So as promised, I have a free download for you. You just need to go to johnvanduzen.com under the teacher tab, and you will see this 8.5 by 11 printout that you can print and put on your wall. If you look across the bottom, those are the years starting with 2020 all the way to 2040. And if you look at the US Senate, it's like we talked about. Upon election of the first senators, they broke themselves into 3 classes so that only 1/3 of the Senate is ever up for re-election at a time. You can see the President of the United States is every 4 years, and the House of Representatives is fast and furious, and the representatives are supposed to be really close to the people, so they're elected every 2 years. Again, you can go to johnvanduzen.com and get this free download. And while you're visiting johnvanduzen.com, you can check out my book, Lesson 1, Leveraging Leadership in Everyday Life, Blueprint of Freedom, which is a simplified guide to the Declaration of Independence and U.S. Constitution. I also have self-guided journals, some merch. It's just a really cool place to go around and check out for teachers, for coaches, and anyone interested in leadership. This has been Teacher PD, fast lessons for busy teachers.